Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm sharing a couple die cut cards using the Stamperia Christmas or Candy Christmas collection. Two dies specifically. I'm using the Gingerbread delivery die as well as the Sweet Borders die set. So I'm going to create some fun holiday cards in a color palette that is one of my favorites to use for non-traditional color palettes. I have blue Spruce cardstock and Waterfall cardstock paired with some Dahlia and blush cardstock. So I have everything die cut ready to put together. I'm putting everything together with Barely Art glue in a fine line bottle. I love this, especially for putting die cuts together, because you can get as little or as much glue as you want. And by using that liquid glue, you have that wiggle room to move and shimmy things in place. To add a bit of visual dimension, I'm going to use a little bit of ink blending. I've got some evergreen bow here, and I'm using a large Spellbinders blending brush. These brushes are great for backgrounds, but they're also great for just doing subtle ink blending, especially with larger die cuts. I wouldn't use them with smaller ones because you would cover most of the die cut with that ink blending, but for larger ones, they're absolutely perfect. On the blush cardstock, I used some worn lipstick for that ink blending, and then on the Fawn Cardstock of the basket, I use the vintage photo. So a little bit of visual dimension to everything. And I put that balloon together ahead of time before doing the ink blending because I wasn't sure if that evergreen bow was going to show up on the dark cardstock, but I thought the best way to get an even ink blending all the way around is to have it together and to do the ink blending while those two pieces were attached to each other. You could always do them separate if you feel better about that, or if you happen to have two different color tones, one that's going to work better on the lighter cardstock and one that's going to work better on the darker cardstock, then you could do it separately and put them together afterwards. To attach the basket, there's three little strings hanging down. One of them is intended to go in front of the basket and the other two are going behind the basket, so it looks like those strings are attached all the way around. With that done, I put that to the side and I'm just going to create my background. I have a piece of Dahlia cardstock here and I'm going to attach a piece of Sukwang tape. It is a strong double-sided tape that I love to use. I've been using this for years and it comes in many different widths. This is just a sheet that I've cut into a quarter sheet size and I'm putting it all over the entire background here. I'm going to use one of the borders from the Sweet Borders die set to cover that whole background. So all we're going to be seeing is the white with the opening showing that Dahlia cardstock. So I have a bunch of them die cut out of white cardstock, and when I die cut them, I did the die on the left side of the die and then the right side of the die. The die is actually fairly long, so I wanted to kind of stagger the pattern just a little bit. So when I'm attaching them to the cardstock, I'm paying attention to the left side on one of them, and the next row I'm paying attention to the right side. When I first started, I used a little bit of that backing on the bottom part of the cardstock just so that I wouldn't stick my hand there. Gives you a little bit more control. And now that the entire background is covered, there's exposed tape in all of those openings. So I'm using some Microfine Glitter and putting that in there. It is transparent and it's also kind of an opalescent sparkle, so you're still going to be able to see that Dahlia cardstock, but it's going to add some sparkle and glitter to that background. Now that Dahlia piece was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches when I started. I'm going to trim it down to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I want to, or no, 5 3/8. I want to have a thin border of blue spruce around it. But I also didn't want to cut too much off that border or off that background. I tried to make it, when I was cutting it down, so that there was an even number of those stripes, so I didn't have an odd random half stripe going across it. So I originally had trimmed it to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and there was just a little thin strip of one of the pieces at the bottom, so I just trimmed it down just a little bit more. And then from there, I die cut, or I trimmed down my blue spruce piece down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So there's just a thin border around it, but it just ties in that blue spruce cardstock that is in that hot air balloon. For my sentiments, I'm using Mistletoe Greetings. This is a set that came out, I believe it was a year ago. It's a press plate and die set. I'm going to heat emboss my sentiments on that blue spruce cardstock with white embossing powder just to tie in all of those colors. I often do my sentiments on white cardstock and then I'll choose to ink blend on them if I feel like it or if it suits the look that I'm going for. But for this, I decided to just do something a little bit different for what I typically do, and I heat embossed on that Blue Spruce cardstock. And that white embossing powder is going to create some nice bright white sentiments on there. So I did use some embossing tool on my cardstock. I'm just using a scrap of the Blue Spruce cardstock here. And then I inked my plate with VersaMark ink, put the clear plate onto the base of the BetterPress system, put it through my Platinum 6 machine, and now I can pour that embossing powder on there. And because I brushed it with that embossing powder tool, I can make sure that I'm only getting the embossing powder on top of that VersaMark ink. I do use super fine embossing powder when possible when doing my sentiments, because those sentiments are really detailed, and because that press plate presses that ink as well as the plate into the cardstock, I want to make sure that the embossing powder is small enough or fine enough to fit into those ridges there. So I find that super fine embossing powder is really helpful when it's available for sentiments when I can use it. So after heat embossing those sentiments, I tape the die in place. This set has two different banners to choose from. So there's one with a little notched tail at the end, and then there's another one that you can choose that has just a straight edge to it. I picked the one with the notched edge. I thought it was just a little cuter, especially for the cards that I'm creating here today. So I'm placed my hot air balloon on the background, and then I'm gluing down my sentiment. I want to make sure to leave a similar amount of space towards the top of the card as the bottom of the card. Now, because when I did these sentiments, I did, I think, 6 or 7 of them at a time, maybe even 8. I didn't really actually count them. I'm going to also add a sentiment to the inside of the card just to tie that in and just to use more of the sentiments up. Any of the ones that are left, I always put into a Ziploc bag and just tuck them right into that press plate and die set so they're ready for the next time. To add just a touch more sparkle, I used a little bit of stickles on that pink wavy banner that goes onto that hot air balloon, and then I set that aside to dry while I'm working on my next card. For my next card, I'm using the Gingerbread man with the other balloon style from the Gingerbread delivery die set, and I'm also using the other border from the Sweet Borders die set. Now, I think this is supposed to be kind of like figgy pudding with icing on it, but I also thought it kind of looked a little bit like hills or mountains with snow on them. So I decided to lean into that and embrace that. I'm going to tape my die down to the cardstock. I have one of them already done with Blue Spruce cardstock and the glitter cardstock from the Antique White Treasured Cardstock pack. The second one here I'm going to do with that Waterfall Cardstock. So I tape my die in place, but when I go to die cut it, there is a blade at the bottom of that border, and I don't want to die cut that blade or that bottom of that border. I want it to extend it a little bit. So when I place my plate onto that die, I make sure the end of that plate doesn't go over top of the bottom of that die. So it's not going to cut that. You are going to get a little indent from the pressure of putting it through your machine, but you're not going to get that cut on the bottom. So you're extending that border there. Then I can glue on my glitter die cut here. Now, just like my last border, these, as you can see when I put my cardstock on top of it, are longer than the 4 1/4 of my cardstock here. So for one of the hills, I did it to the right side of that die set, and for the other hill, I did it to the left side. So I don't have a complete repeated pattern there. I glued on my other glitter cardstock piece to the top and set those aside to dry. For my background here, I'm using a piece of Hammermill Cardstock trimmed to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And for my border, I'm using a piece of, or my mat, I'm using a piece of Fawn Cardstock, and that's trimmed to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I want to do just a little bit of ink blending on my background. So I'm starting off with that worn lipstick. Then I'm going to go in with that evergreen bough. Typically, I don't use evergreen bough for a sky, but I didn't want to introduce another color. So I wanted to use a color that was close as I can get to the Blue Spruce and Waterfall. This is a little bit more of a green tone, but it is the closest ink that I have to go with it. So I inked the top of the sky with that. And so we have just a very simple sky. I could probably have gotten blue ink and gone over top of it just to try to get closer to the tones of the color cardstock that I was using, but I didn't want to ruin my background or get it too dark. So I just opted not to do that. So when gluing my borders down, just like I did when I die cut them, I did one of them towards the right side of the cardstock and then the next one towards the left side of the cardstock, again, so that I wasn't having repeated patterns going down. Set those aside to dry. I can just trim that excess off once it's completely dry, but I want to make sure that it has a moment to dry first. For the balloon for the gingerbread guy here, I'm using that blush cardstock. So I ink blended it with some of that worn lipstick ink. And then I have my gingerbread guy die cut out of Fawn Cardstock, and I'm ink blending that with some vintage photo. I wanted to have a few clouds in my sky, so I'm using the cloud dies from this Tunnel Clouds die set. I die cut them out of white cardstock, and I'm just using a little bit of lost shadow on the underside of the clouds just to give them a little bit of shadow, a little bit of visual dimension. So once all of that ink blending is done, I can start to assemble everything together here. So for the gingerbread guy, there are holes for the eyes and the mouth, as well as the little buttons on his front. And I'm just using some white cardstock to fill those in. You can use whatever color you want. The same die cuts the pieces to go behind there, as well as little icing squiggles for his arms and legs. So you could either cut it out of two different colors if you want those to be different colors, or you could just cut them all the same. I opted to just do white for something very simple. Again, I didn't want to add too many colors to this. I wanted to keep the colors palette pretty much the same. I just didn't want to introduce a bunch of different colors. So once I have all of my little stripes on there, and what I end up doing is putting the glue right on the base of the gingerbread and then just putting the stripe piece on there. You could also use some reverse tweezers to hold those little stripes, put the glue on the back of them, and then place them down if you want. There's a little indent on the gingerbread die cut showing you exactly where each one of those pieces go. So it does make it pretty easy to know exactly where they're intended to be placed. Then I'm going to attach these little strings to the arms as well as the underside of the balloon. The underside of the balloon is die cut out of some Dahlia Cardstock to give it a little bit of a shadow, a little bit of a different color from the top part of that balloon. Once that is glued in place, I can add a little bit of glue to the top of that and then glue to the top of my balloon on there. Now I did also die cut the scarf as well as the toque from the gingerbread delivery die set. So I die cut those out of Dahlia as well as blush cardstock, thinking that the background was going to be the greeny teal colors. But what I wasn't really thinking about was the fact that I had a pink balloon and pink scarf and pink toque here. You could always change it up and change it into some of the blues for some of those pieces if you wanted them to have a little bit more contrast. I quite like them, but it might be just a little bit too pink for some people. Again, you can pick and choose whatever colors you want, and you obviously don't necessarily have to use the color combination that I've chosen. I was in the mood to use a non-traditional color palette, as well as the fact that the paper and die cuts from the Candy Christmas line from Stamperia are pastel colors. So I kind of wanted to do pastel tones, but I didn't necessarily want to do them the exact same colors as they did. I wanted to change it up just a tiny little bit. So once I have my gingerbread with the balloon glued together, I can lay that on top of my background and glue my clouds on. Now I trimmed down the die cuts from the bottom and glued it to the Fawn Cardstock mat, but I haven't glued it to the front of my card yet. When I glued the clouds down, I wanted them to extend past my ink blended background onto my mat, but I didn't necessarily want them on my card base. So by doing the ink blended piece onto the mat first, then gluing my clouds, I could easily trim them down and then put them onto my base. Then I add my sentiment, and now I'm ready to add my gingerbread man with the balloon. Now, when I keep placing them, I kind of am paying attention to which colors are going on top of which colors. I do have that pink on pink for the sky of the background, but because one is ink blended and one is cardstock, they are different tones. I put the sentiment on the top because I didn't want it to blend into my little mountains on the bottom. And this was the point where I was looking at this card and looking at those mountains or hills at the bottom, thinking that could also be some really cool water with some foamy waves. So you could easily use that Sweet Borders die set for some beachy, oceany cards if you wanted to create some water and waves with them. I think they would be fantastic for for that as well. And I use the glitter cardstock there, but you could easily use just white cardstock and then add some stickles to lessen the amount of glitter on there if you want. I added a tiny little bit of stickles to the border of the balloon just to tie in a little bit of sparkle with that as well. But these were just some fun Christmas cards to create in a totally non-traditional color palette, and also kind of a non-traditional theme for Christmas. You could easily turn them into other seasons as well, or even change up that gingerbread man hanging from there with, say, an animal die cut or some other type of die cuts. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate all the time that you spend with me. Have a fantastic day.